So I don't really have much of a topic right now. I'm just annoyed, and so I wanted to rant a little. And ranting's super helpful for me for when I'm pissed off, which is quite a lot, as you'll see. And there's been a lot of videos going around about well, ISIS, everyone knows who the fuck they are, right? Ever since Donald Trump took over, there's been a huge change in policy and how we kind of deal with them. And as you know, we recently struck a Syrian air base, which was, for the most part, completely ineffective, as it did nothing. Most sources are showing that a decent number of the missiles didn't even hit, and the damage was fairly minimal, and that's not something you're looking for when you just spent tens of millions of dollars worth of Tomahawk missiles, because those things are fucking expensive. And so to just launch that shit and do fuck all with them is kind of stupid as shit. Not to mention, we seem to have loosened up our I don't know what the word for it is, our restrictions on how we bomb and shit. And so far we've struck a number of civilian areas. We've struck mosques, we've just residential areas, shit like that. And it's pretty fucked up, you know? Pretty recently, we struck a mosque. I think it was about 2-3 weeks ago at this point. We struck a mosque, and we said it was an Al-Qaeda or Al-Nusra, whatever the group is in Syria. I think they're called Al-Nusra in Syria. Well, we thought it was one of their bases, or at least we said it was one of their bases, and it fucking wasn't. It was actually just a mosque, and they were finishing up prayers. And, well, we killed a fucking shit ton of people. Just all civilians, blew them to fucking pieces. I actually don't know the death count, because this shit has been happening so often, I'm actually losing count of which one has certain death counts. And that's pretty fucked up. I just know there's a lot of kids that died, and that's depressing as fuck. Because these are kids. And this is coming from this attack. The same guy who did this attack, Donald Trump, was the one who talked about how his heart was hurting for these Syrian kids when Assad launched his chemical attack. If it was Assad, I'm not going to dive into conspiracy theories here, because Assad's used chemical weapons, the rebels have used chemical weapons. It's both pretty fucked up, so I don't know who did what, and I'm not going to put the blame on either people. Let me get this out of the way. Bashar al-Assad, I consider him a fucking awful dictator. Brutal as fuck. He's killed hundreds of thousands of his own people, and in a perfect world he wouldn't be in power. But we're not a perfect world, kind of a shitty world, and he's still in power, so we're gonna have to suck it up and deal with it for now. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. It's hypocritical. It pisses me the fuck off that Donald Trump talked about how much he cares about these kids, and these kids dying, it was awful. But these are the same kids he won't let in our fucking country because he cut off the refugee program. These are the same kids that he was considering like, oh, they're all terrorists and monsters and blah, 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 just because they're fucking Arab, just because they're fucking Muslims. So it's pissing me off. It's hypocritical bullshit. And I don't deal with hypocrisy. It's garbage. I don't like it. It's fucked up. And then, after cutting out the refugee program, and then going claiming how his heart hurts for these kids, he goes and fucking bombs a goddamn mosque, killing who knows how many kids. And over in Iraq, we can't seem to figure out how not to kill a bunch of civilians in Mosul. Kills on like 200 people in a couple weeks. It's awful. And we created this shit. And I'm not following the line that Donald Trump was putting out where Obama and Hillary Clinton are the founders and co-founders of ISIS. That's bullshit. That's what that is. It's garbage. It's stupid as shit. It's not true. But we created this shit. We created the environment for these people to thrive. Terrorist organizations don't thrive in happy, stable societies. And we've been fucking up the Middle East for years. So fuck yeah, people like this are gonna rise. Fuck yeah, people like this are gonna come out and they're gonna hate us. Because we've been fucking up these areas for years. Every time one of these countries gets like a stable democratic government, we blow it up. Because, they elect someone we don't like. Look at Iran. Mohammed Mossadegh, we didn't like him. He was an evil communist, even though he fucking wasn't. We overthrew his government, installed a dictator, fucked everything up. And now, we're just barely starting to see semblances of democracy come back in Iran. It's been decades. We did this shit. And we wonder why these groups come up. We wonder why they don't like us. They wonder why they kill American soldiers and civilians. And I'm not justifying what they're doing. No, it's unjustifiable. The bombings, the suicide attacks on American soldiers, on any civilians, anywhere, it's unacceptable. There's no way to justify it. But you have to look at it and understand this is why people do this shit. They're angry. They're pissed off. And sure, some of them are just taking advantage of the situation. Plenty of people are doing that. And it's shitty, but it's true. It's what's going on here. And guess what? Yeah, it sucks. Everything sucks. The world sucks. But we created this shit. Taliban. We funded them in Afghanistan to fight the Soviets because we decided, who gives a fuck if this government that's going to come into place after us is this authoritarian, fundamentalist group. Fuck it, who gives a shit? At least they're not goddamn communists, right? And, Bin Laden was a fucking CIA operative for years. We funded this motherfucker. Gave him shit tons of money. It's ridiculous. And so, to turn around and pretend like we're innocent in all this shit is just stupid, because we're not. Because we created this. We created groups like ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, al-Nusra. Organizations like this, it's our fault. And it's shitty what happens. It's shitty. It really is. Because they're good people. The people in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen, in Lebanon, in Afghanistan, they're good people. I know these people. I've met these people. They're good people. They care about their country. They care about their family. But it doesn't matter. We've spent decades fucking this shit up. So yeah, believe it or not, I'm a little mad about this shit. I have people saying, why do I pay attention to all this crap? Because all it does is depresses me. And I'm like, that's true, but guess what? I need to fucking pay attention to it. If I don't pay attention to it, no one's gonna. Well, that's not completely, you know what I mean. But people have to pay attention to it. And if no one pays attention to it, all this shit, all this awful, awful fucking shit that happens just gets ignored. And it's not okay, man. It's shitty. ISIS sucks. I'm glad they're getting their asses fucking kicked all over the place. Because I didn't really have much of a huge strategy for this one, but you know how it happens. So yeah.